Hi everyone, my name is Jorge Gomez from AEDGO. We are today with Michelle and Mikala from MITT College from Winnipeg, and we're going to talk about the English programs and the college programs that they have. Hi Michelle and Mikala, how are you?
Good, how are you, Jorge?
How are you?
Good. So I know you prepared a presentation, Michelle. Do you want me to share it so you can start talking about it?
Yes, if you can share the first slide, that'll be great. I'll get started.
Okay, just give me a second.
It's a very sunny day in Winnipeg. Are you still
That's
in
great.
Brazil, Jorge?
Yeah, you see my skin. I'm so tan right now.
Oh, we are jealous, but we are almost there. Right, Michelle?
It's much warmer now in Winnipeg. It's getting really nice.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very sunny today.
well, that's good. Like spring's coming.
Yes.
So now I think the people is seeing this presentation, right?
Perfect. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. So because I just see the presentation, I don't see you, Michelle or Mikala.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
do you
want me just to get started and I'll just ask you when to switch to the next slide?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so just a little bit more of an introduction. I'm Michelle Rummel. I'm manager of the English Language Institute at MITT. So I'm going to talk to you about our English program and how to complete your English program to either just do English or to enter a post-secondary program at MITT. Right, next slide. All right, so there's just a nice picture of our English Language Institute on campus. We have our own building just for the English program. It's a very nice, very modern, beautiful building. So maybe one day some of you can come and see it. Next page. Okay, so I'll mostly talk about the English for Academic Purposes program. This is our program intended for international students to reach their language proficiency needs for post-secondary admission, but it's also good if you're just interested in studying English to improve your use of English for everyday life in an English environment, or maybe in your company if you work with a foreign company in your home country. So some highlights of our program are multiple start dates throughout the year. So I'll talk about that a little further along, but we have 7 intakes each year. We have clear skills alignment for admission to MITT post-secondary programs. So in other words, it means we are specifically preparing you to be ready for our MITT programs, like things like critical thinking skills, presentation skills, academic writing, those kind of things. We have 6 levels in our English program, from very basic foundations level up to EAP level 5. Level 5, so 6 levels altogether. Each week there's 23 hours of instruction, so it's a pretty busy schedule each week when you're in class, but I think that's pretty normal for an English program. We have a lot of sociocultural activities, and they're included in the tuition, so no extra costs. So lots of things like virtual, right now virtual, but tours of museums, talent shows. Next week, some of our students are attending a play through a local theater company. So lots of different activities. Of course, it's a little different because of COVID, but we're still trying to do lots of activities even now. And then textbooks are included in your tuition, so you don't have to purchase extra textbooks once you pay your tuition. It's all included in that one fee. All right, next slide. Okay, so first I'll talk about levels 1 through 4. These are kind of the levels that most students would take. Level 4 is the level that you would need to enter most MITT programs. It's equivalent to about an IELTS 6.0 once you're finished. So that's most of our programs require level 4. So each level, levels 1 through 4, is divided into 2 6-week modules, and you can enter at either module. So that's why we have so many intakes. You can start at lots of different times. We're very flexible, but you must complete both modules of each level before you can move up to the next level. If you start at level 1, which is about an IELTS 3.5, IELTS 4, you could finish all 4 of those levels within 1 year. So even if you're starting at the very sort of low level, you can finish it all within 1 year. Successful completion of level 4 meets proficiency requirements for category A programs. And I'll show you in a bit which programs are category A programs. And successful completion means a final grade of 80% per level.
Okay.
And levels 1 through 4, the current tuition is $3,500, but you can see the little stars there. That means that tuition is subject to change, right? So big, post-secondary institutions, they're always changing their tuition. So that's what it is right now, but it will likely change in the fall for these levels. And I mentioned lots of intakes. So we have 4 terms, fall, winter, spring, and summer. But in fall, winter, and spring, there are 2 intakes. So altogether, there are 7 intakes per year. So very flexible. All right, next slide. The next one is about the foundations level. So this is new since last September. It's only 6 weeks in length, so it's about half as long as the other levels. And the placement in foundations is based on our proficiency tests. So usually you don't know that you're going to go into foundations. If you have an IELTS score, chances are you are not going to foundations. But if you come without any score and you take our placement test at the English Language Institute and your score is very low, we might put you in foundations just to help you get the basics. I'm talking very basic, like alphabet, ABC, very basic things to prepare you to start in the academic English versus level 1.
So it will be like level 0?
It's like level 0, yeah. Actually, that's what it is in our registration system. It's 0 is actually the official course.
Okay.
You're correct. So it's quite basic, and students just need to take it for 6 weeks. And if you don't, as long as you pass in 6 weeks, then you'll move up to level 1. So it's not quite as long as the higher levels, but just to give you a foundation to prepare you for level 1. And the tuition is $1,750 per 6-week module for foundations level. So it's half the tuition for that level as compared to the higher levels. And then finally, level 5. So it's the same as levels 1 through 4. It's 12 weeks divided into 2 6-week modules, and you have to take both in order to pass the level. So the difference here is level 5 meets proficiency requirements for entrance into MITT Category B programs. So they're not, there's only a few Category B programs, so only a few programs require level 5. We'll go into that in a few minutes. I'll tell you the specific programs, but it's equivalent to about an IELTS 6.5. And the tuition for level 5 is $4,200. And that includes all your textbooks. There's more textbooks. It's a bit more academic at this level, even than level 4. And this is offered, again, the same intakes as levels 1 through 4, 4 terms per year for a total of 7 intakes per year.
Okay, I have a question. So for somebody that requires to have 5 levels with you, it's going to take 1 year or like a 1 year, 1 term?
Yeah, basically 1 year, 1 term.
Okay.
If they start from level 1 and need to go all the way through level 5, which is not very common, but if they do need that, it will take about, it's 60 weeks. But then, of course, you add in the breaks, winter break, summer break. It stretches it out a little bit, but it's 60 weeks of studying if you do level 1 all the way through level 5, plus break times.
Okay.
Okay, so here we get into the different programs. So Category A programs, which require level 4, are majority of the most popular programs: auto mechanics, business administration, culinary arts and design, even most of the IT programs like cyber defense, software developer. Those are all level 4 requirements, or level 4 is required for all of those programs. Category B is just a few programs, but some of them are very popular, like postgraduate global logistics and supply chain management program, the medical office assistant program, and the rehabilitation assistant program all require level 5. And then a special program that also requires level 5 is the early childhood education program. It's one of the Category C programs. It's the only Category C program that will accept level 5. There's a few programs at MITT that you must take IELTS. They will not accept anything, and those are just some of the healthcare programs. So I still encourage students to take level 5 and to help you to prepare for IELTS, because it is pretty challenging to get the IELTS 6.5 without doing any preparation. So if you wanted to come and study here, you could do level 5 and then challenge it, then try the IELTS to meet entrance requirements. But you do have to add that extra step of the IELTS test for those couple of programs. Okay, next one. All right, so some advantages of our program. I already mentioned and showed you the picture of our beautiful building. If you're able to come to Canada, hopefully someday everyone will be on campus again. It's a very, very nice facility. We have a really beautiful computer lab with all Apple computers. Every classroom has smart boards. We have a student lounge, cafeteria. We have a beautiful outdoor courtyard in the center of our building where in the summer we hold barbecues and different student events. All of our instructors are very highly experienced. We are Languages Canada accredited, which means we have to meet quite high standards for our instructors. So all of our instructors meet those high standards, and most of our instructors also have international experience, including myself. I've lived overseas for 16, 17 years, so I think it's very important. It helps us to understand the student experience. We can empathize with what they're going through when they come to Canada to study. It's important for us to understand what they're going through. We have very caring and dedicated staff. Our admin team is fantastic. We're very responsive to emails, and we process the applications quickly, and we're always happy to answer any questions you have. And then, of course, conditional offers are available for post-secondary plus English language together. It's not guaranteed, but that is a possibility. If you're trying to do both programs, you can get a conditional offer. Okay, next. So some of the upcoming intakes, we have 2 spring intakes. So the next one is April 5th. Then we have May 17th, and then just the 1 intake in the summer. One thing I like to tell international students about our summer intake is we also host a program in the summer called the Explore program, which is for Canadian students. So in the summer, we always have a lot of Canadian students who are learning English. They're all from Quebec. They speak French. So it's a really great time to study with us because you get to make a lot of Canadian friends. Usually the English program is just international students, but in the summer, it's a really great mix of Canadian students and international students. And there's a lot of fun in the summer when they are on campus as well. And then the fall, we have September and October intakes. Okay, so as I mentioned already, the tuition for foundations is $1,750. Levels 1 through 4 is $3,500 per level. And then level 5 is $4,200. And there's a one-time award fee that all students pay of $50. And then, of course, if you're coming to Canada for your studies, you'll have to purchase the health insurance as well. So that varies depending on which level you're placed in and how long you will be studying. The amount for that fee will change. But otherwise, it's all inclusive. There's no extra fees for textbooks or activities. It's all covered in your tuition fee.
Yeah, this health insurance fee is about what, like a $2-3 per day, or
$250 per day? Yes.
$250. Okay.
Yeah, and if you're familiar, it's with the company is called GuardMe. They're a very big health insurance company in Canada. Most universities and colleges use GuardMe, so it's pretty popular with students. They're very good. Yeah. All right. So I mentioned the sociocultural activities. So here's a couple of pictures of some things we've done when we were on campus. As I mentioned, it's free. There's no extra charge for all these activities that we do. They're usually on Friday afternoons because there are no classes on Friday afternoons, but sometimes it'll be during lunch or even during your break time if it's just a quick activity. You can see the top picture there. Those were actually some of our Canadian students that studied with us a couple summers ago. I think they were doing a talent show. They were preparing in the student lounge there. And in the bottom was a big barbecue we did in the summer. That's in the courtyard in the center of our building. So a really nice spot to hang out and have parties in the summer with the students. But we also do lots of things off campus, like Manitoba. We have this beautiful museum called the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Jorge, I don't know if you've been here, if you've been to that museum, but it's really nice.
Yeah, no, I just have been like a connection flight. When I used to live in Regina, Saskatchewan, I did a couple of connection flights in Winnipeg.
So yeah, sometime you'll have to go. And of course, everyone visits that museum. It's really beautiful and of course, very, very important with the human rights information there. We visited farms, we go golfing, lots of different things around Winnipeg and Manitoba to get students off campus. And it's a great chance not just to have fun, but you can practice your English while you're doing real life things. So not just in the classroom with a book and exams and tests, but actually going out and using your English in real life.
Yep.
And of course, we always celebrate all the different holidays, Christmas, Halloween, lots of different events for all the different holidays throughout the year. Of course, it's COVID time, so a few changes. So not a few, a lot of big changes for everyone because of COVID. So the biggest one is all of the classes right now are being offered online at all levels. So we do have on campus. It is actually possible in Manitoba for our students to come here and study on campus if they want to, but it's not required. We're delivering all of the classes online, so students can choose what they feel most comfortable doing, studying online or coming to campus.
Okay, sorry, a question for that. So if they go to the campus, do they have like a professor or a teacher, or it's just like they are in a computer watching the class?
So if they come to campus, the teacher will be there, the instructor will be there, and then the other students will be in the computer. So it'll be, there's a camera in the classroom and the big smart board in the classroom, and so they can all see each other if they're at home or if they're on campus. So it's we're making it work pretty well right now, but most students are not coming. They just don't feel comfortable. So we're still having it very flexible for now. And because of that, students are able to study from their home country, right? So we have quite a few students are choosing, well, maybe not choosing, they're just not able to travel right now. So they are staying at home and they're studying either online in real time, like live. So for example, if the class was right now, they would join right now, or if the time difference is too difficult for them, we're recording all of the classes and we're posting them to the learning platform so the students can watch them at a time that's more convenient to them. If they prefer that, if it's easier for them. Most students are attending the live class, even if it's a really different time, but it's just, I think they enjoy it more to be in the live class. But we do have both options for students right now. And we're still doing activities, even though it's all online. We've been doing talent shows, yoga classes, gardening classes. We've had Spirit Week, which is, where students are competing class versus class, dressing up in costumes and doing sort of a virtual competition between classes. We still have lots of activities going on, even though it's virtual. So we're still doing a lot of fun things. We've added some extra academic supports, including instructor office hours. So instructors have extra time now where they're available outside of class. So if students want to schedule a one-on-one meeting to get some extra supports, the teacher will use Zoom and they'll meet with them virtually. And then our program coordinator also holds a study corner once a week, where she'll do sort of group academic supports, either on campus or virtually. She's open to both. So a lot of extra supports right now for students to support their studies.
Yeah.
All right, so there's just some pictures of some things we did before COVID and we'll do again after COVID. Lots of fun things to do. Even in the winter, we enjoy winter time, go snowshoeing, we go have bonfires at the park, lots of fun things even in the winter in Winnipeg, so don't be afraid.
Ice fishing.
We have not done ice fishing, actually. We've never done.
No?
We could. I think we just don't know how. I can't ice fish. I don't know. Michaela probably doesn't know how to do ice fishing. So
No.
we've never tried.
I have seen though like a hole on one of the rivers. I think it was the La Salle River. So we were walking and there was an opening. And it looked like someone grilled the ice and it may be, people used it. I don't know. I love to eat fish, but I don't like to kill them. So.
Yeah. I did it once just for, it's a lot of fun. I did it once just for having the experience and it was really interesting, but it was so cold that once was enough.
Yeah, and you need special clothing, you need special equipment. In the summer, we've gone fishing though, in the summer with some students. So that's more common for us to do.
I think that there's the picture for Manitobans, right? Picture with the big fish. It's a very signature picture that a lot of my friends in here, they would have that.
Yeah, so this is like the aquarium. You have aquarium.
All right, let's go to the next slide.
It's the polar bear.
That's the zoo in Winnipeg, actually. We have for the polar bears.
Nice.
I think there's around 8.
So actually, I recommend there's a new show. There's a new TV show called Arctic Vets. So you can probably find online. Oh, are we frozen?
Frozen a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good again.
So that was the Winnipeg Zoo with the polar bears. There's a new TV show called Arctic Vets, if you can find it online. And it's filmed at the Winnipeg Zoo, talking all about their Arctic animals, like the polar bears, the foxes, the wolves. It's very interesting. And so that's just right here in Winnipeg, down the street, 5 minutes from our campus. We can go see polar bears. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
All right, so let's go. So now talk a little bit about admissions requirements and the application process. Okay, so for the English program, if you're only applying to the English program, it's pretty simple. You just need to be at least 18 years old or finished high school. So basically, you need to be able to come to Canada without your parents. You need to be able to come on your own because we're not doing guardianship for our programs. If you have it, please provide us with your English proficiency, like IELTS or TOEFL. If you don't have it, that's okay. We'll take a test. But if you already have it, please provide it to us. And then, of course, you need a permit to enter Canada if you're going to be traveling to Canada. So either your study permit or your visitor permit, which, of course, right now you cannot travel with the visitor permit, but eventually you will be. And then you need one of those two kinds of permits to arrive in Canada.
Yeah, for the visitor permit, it will be up to 2 terms, I guess, because more than that, they will need to have a student permit.
That's correct. Yeah. So for up to 2 terms, up to 6 months, you can study with a visitor permit.
Yeah.
I will say I would recommend you talk to MITT's Immigration Services Advisor, or maybe to Jorge if you have more questions about the permits. But I know a lot of students, not right now with COVID, but normally they are able to come and they study for up to 6 months, and then sometimes within Canada they will switch to a study permit. So that's a fairly common process for students as well. If they start with English only, that's pretty common process. But please speak to a proper immigration advisor about that process. So don't take it from me.
Yeah.
And then to apply, you just go to mitt.ca/apply. If you've applied for something before, like maybe you had already applied for the post-secondary program, now you want to add English, make sure you use the same login. Otherwise, you create a whole new student number, and it takes some time for us to realize that you've already submitted a second application and put them together. So use the same login, upload your supporting documents if you have it, like your IELTS score, and then we'll get your application and we'll process it as quickly as possible. So it's fairly simple if it's English only. Now, of course, if you're applying for English plus a post-secondary or postgraduate program, you'll also need your transcripts and other documents as well. So it's a little bit more complicated. I think Michaela might talk about that a bit more, maybe. But English only, it's pretty straightforward. All right, next slide. Okay, and then there's our contact information. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email to eli@mitt.ca, or if you're in Winnipeg or Canada, you can also give us a call. Someone is on campus most days right now, so we'll be able to get your phone call. I do say that the Eli email is probably the fastest way to get in touch with somebody, because we're able to respond even if we're working from home. Because with COVID, we're all kind of doing this funny work schedule, home to some days, on campus some days. But email is accessible from everywhere. So I would recommend you contact us if you have any questions.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so now we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, well, for the people that is watching this video, they can just make questions, just make a comment, or either in Facebook or YouTube, and we can answer right now or later. So yeah. So you say that there are classes on in campus right now.
Yes.
And when do you expect to have like everything back to normal?
Well, we don't know for sure, but I'm preparing for maybe to have that for September is what we're thinking right now. Manitoba, of course, every country is at a different phase. In Canada and Manitoba, right now we're doing pretty good with the vaccine. So they're saying everyone in Manitoba will have their at least first vaccine shot by May.
That's good.
So once everyone has their first vaccine shot, we think the government will probably open up some of the things that are restricted. Like, we're still a little bit restricted with schools, but we think that will change once everyone has the first vaccine shot. So we're preparing for the chance to have students back in September. But of course, that also depends on the federal government opening up the border. Yes. Yeah. So even if our province is doing very well, it's the federal, the national border is still restricted. So we're waiting for some changes there, maybe within a few months. That's our hope. We have to go with the flow, though, right? We have to be flexible for now.
Yeah, and there is some kind of benefits for the students, like maybe a transportation card, the public transportation cheaper for them.
That's a good question, Harry. Yes, so if they buy their student's card, it's a bus card. So Winnipeg, we just have a bus. If they buy their bus card on campus, they save about 20% off of the bus fee.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So I think we covered everything about the English programs. I don't know, you want to add something else?
I don't know, Michaela, did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered everything. Unless anyone has a specific question.
Yeah. But I think later it's gonna be some questions, and I can answer that, or and we can submit the application. It's a really simple. The process, as you mentioned, Michelle, is just be like 20, at least 18 years old, and have a high school degree, and that's it. Because they can start from zero, like level 0.
And it was actually one thing to point out right now, because most of our students are not studying on campus, we're doing the placement testing online. So once the student applies, if they don't have IELTS, they don't have TOEFL, usually about 1 week before the start of their term, we'll send out the online placement test and schedule a speaking test. So it's all done online. So if they don't have an IELTS or a TOEFL or any other test score, don't worry about it. It's pretty simple right now. We're doing it all virtually.
Yeah. Well, a question. So for the people that wants to have a pathway program plus college program, some of them they have to do 4 levels. So the intake for that for the college program is not yet open. So they need to wait, right? First is to get the LOA for the English program, apply for the visa, and then make an extension of the student visa to apply for the college program.
Yeah, so right now, if they're coming at level 1 or 2, it's not really possible to get the conditional offer, but because as you said, our programs aren't open that far ahead. So start with EAP only, and then when you get to about level 3, add in your application for the post-secondary program. And then at that point, it's possible to get the second LOA with the conditional admission to a post-secondary program, and then update your study permit at that time. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
And they do get priority. There is some priority given to EAP students when they apply for post-secondary. So that's always good to know. And I'll advocate for them. If they ever have any problems with their application, I will give them as much help as I can.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much.
So, Nicola, do you want to start with well, I don't know if you want to stay, Michelle, or we...
Actually, I have to go. Today is my daughter's birthday. So I have to
congrats.
Happy birthday to your daughter. I just sent a message on Teams.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So anyone send any questions? If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them later.
Okay, thanks so much, Michelle.
Great. Thanks, Jorge. Bye.
Bye.
Jorge, did you receive my presentation?
Let me check.
It came to your Gmail with the I sent a WeTransfer, so you might have to go. You might have received a mail to your spam.
Okay, just give me a second, because I think. Okay, just give me a second.
Sure, sure.
I'm gonna check my email. Do you send it to Georgia.Gomez? Michaela, I don't see the email. I don't hear you. Give me a second.
Sorry, I sent it to you via e-transfer because I couldn't get it. It bounced back to me when I send over the.
Do you want me, like, maybe if you send me that through WhatsApp?
I'm not sure how to send it via WhatsApp. Can I share it from here? Is that okay? Because I think I should be able to share a screen.
Oh, try it. Maybe yes.
So let me do that. And I will send this to you if you want to share with students. I can still do that. So
okay.
Yeah. Here, let me share a screen.
Yeah, I think now I just need to give you the access, and now, yeah.
Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I will get started with my presentation unless you have any questions before that.
No, maybe I'm just gonna make some couple of questions during the PowerPoint presentation, but that's it.
Okay, yeah. So I think everyone learned a lot about our English language program. So I will go through kind of general overview of Winnipeg, MITT programs, the post-secondary and postgraduate, our student services, and then I will leave for questions. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll start with Winnipeg. Winnipeg is where I started first as a student. I went to University of Winnipeg, and then I graduated and applied for immigration, and then eventually became a Canadian citizen. So this is my home, and I'm very proud to promote Winnipeg as a great destination for school as well as to live. A lot of students ask about the cold, so I'll talk about winter in a bit, but I think one of the biggest attractions in choosing Winnipeg for students is that it is a very cost competitive city. That means the costs are very low, whether to live, whether to go to school, and in general, whether you rent or buy a house, it's the number one most cost competitive city across all of US and Western Canada. And it's also the number one lowest cost location for select US and Canadian businesses. Recently, we saw Amazon Web Services launching a location here in Winnipeg. We saw a big video games company like Ubisoft come into Winnipeg. And we saw some startups like Skip the Dishes, Bold E-commerce, two IT companies that was just found in a basement and, started by two brothers with a bunch of their friends have gone into multi-billion-dollar businesses. So I think the investors definitely take opportunity in that. And also the small business owners find it very attractive to launch their businesses here. And the other stat I found is that it is also one of the top 5 cities to launch an online business. We are a very vibrant and cosmopolitan city. Michelle talked about the zoo and having polar bears in our zoo, which is so wonderful because otherwise you have to go to Churchill, that is in north of Manitoba, quite far and quite expensive trip. So my mother, when she was visiting Winnipeg, appreciated to see these animals that she has never seen. So for us, it's just a 20 minutes drive to the zoo, and they are available all around the year. And the Winnipeg is known to be very healthy and really close to outdoor. So there are a lot of hiking trails, a lot of biking trails around Winnipeg, as well as across Manitoba. We also have world's largest snow maze. I don't have a picture of it, but you might have just Google the world's largest snow maze. So it's in winter, we built these walls with snow, and then we created a maze. So you can do a little bit of fun activities with your friends. It was open during COVID too, with limited access. So, small groups of people could go and enjoy that time. The other thing, let's talk about weather, right? So we are a four-season city. That means we have prominent summers, prominent fall, prominent winter, and prominent spring. A lot of people only talk about how cold Winnipeg is and how bad the winters are, but no one really talks about how fun our summers are and how beautiful our fall season is. I remember taking a trip to Riding Mountain, so it's like 3 hours north to Winnipeg, and it gets quite hilly because it's closer to the kind of the border. Actually, anything a little bit farther from Winnipeg getting to be quite hilly, but we are in prairies, right? So we don't find hills. When I look outside, I can see like flatlands for like, as far as I can see. But when you go towards the east, that's Ontario, so you get closer to hills a little bit, and you can see like the golden colors on trees, and it's just so beautiful from like September to November. And then comes the winter from like mid-November until like mid-March. So this week we are having +11, +5 temperatures, and hopefully it's going to go up from here. It's the hockey city, so Winnipeg has the NHL team, Winnipeg Jets, and we have a big arena in downtown, and we have the best home crowd. So when our team plays, there's always a big cheers on street. That's the only time usually Winnipeggers honk, because in Canada people don't honk on the roads, and you can see if the Winnipeg Jets win, they honk, and they're so loud, and they're kind of sharing that happiness, cheers with everyone else. When they lose, nobody's like loud, right? Everyone's quietly going home. And we also arts and cultural city. We have a lot of festivals. Unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of theaters didn't operate, and our ballet, like Royal Winnipeg Ballet, is a world famous ballet company. They didn't do a lot of shows in this year and 2020, but people are very active, and they have season tickets to go to theater, go to ballet, and there are a lot of free festivals like Jazz Festival and the Comedy Festival and the Theater Festival to attend in the summertime.
Yeah, you have also the Canadian football team.
Oh, in Winnipeg? Oh, the women's team. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know much about football, but you can talk about that, Jorge.
Well, I just know because when I used to live in Regina, Saskatchewan, the company has also another facility in Winnipeg, and they always like make jokes about it. And when they play against the Winnipeg team, and it's a Canadian football, so it's like American football but Canadian.
Oh, you're talking about the Bombers.
Yeah, not soccer. I'm talking about like American.
Right,
but it's not American. It's Canadian because some rules change.
Yeah, so I don't think they played during COVID, but the people are crazy about that. Their Bombers team here. Yeah, for sure. The other thing is like healthy lifestyle. In terms of that, we have around 400 kilometers plus rapid transit lines. There were a lot of developments, a lot of upgrades that have been done in the past couple of years. And the really great thing is that along with these rapid bus lines, there's a bike path. It's very safe, and it's very nicely done to connect the south to north, to east to west. And it's a wonderful kind of lane to walk or bike. So in last summer during COVID, we used to go on quite a few bike rides, right? Because you can go to a restaurant and you can meet friends outside like 2 meters apart. So biking was a safer activity to do with friends and family. And it's I was quite proud of Winnipeg bike lanes and how much city invested on developing these to, in a way to improve the healthy lifestyle as well as like reduce the carbon emissions to the environment. And we are a small city, right? So
well, average, small, but sorry? Well, you mentioned a small, but not so small, like more like a medium-sized city.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we are quite humble here. So we say small. It's around 763,000 people, little less than 1 million. So geographically, I would say it's getting larger, right? We have these borders, but now there are more communities built outside the border. But it's still, the good thing about it is that you can go from your home to your work or home to your school less than 24 minutes. That's the average time. Maybe sometimes, it's closer to 1 hour, but mainly, like, for me, I have 5 minutes ride to work. So
That's
if you
great.
choose your location wisely, right? So if you're coming to MITT, you know where your campus is, and either you find apartment close to that, or you get an apartment close to a bus route, and that will really, really save your time. And unlike, you have lived in Quebec, Montreal, and Toronto, you know
Yeah.
how crazy the traffic is and how crazy the timing, right?
Yeah, it could take 1 hour, 2 hours from one way
Exactly.
to the other.
So that's, I would say, one of the other attractions that, you can really save time and spend that commute time with your family when you get home sooner. So again, in terms of cost, in Winnipeg, bachelor apartment or one bedroom, you can get it for still under $1,000 a month, and a little over 1,000 for 2 bedroom, and for 3 or more around 1,500. And you can ask Jorge about the other prices in other provinces, 'cause I know for
Well,
one.
it's crazy. Like Montreal and Toronto, comparing with the Winnipeg, is crazy. Like one a basement apartment, like just one room, is gonna be 1,200.
Exactly. So, like, I feel that, sometimes, like, we go and visit friends in Toronto, and they have this very boutique apartment, right? And it's like they pay $3,000, and I have 2 bedroom and 2 bathroom, and it's around 1,200 square feet,
Yeah.
and still, like, we pay like less than 1,500. So it's just a really good price here for like quality living.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the future for the guys that wants to buy a house, it's the same. Like in Toronto, that apartment that you mentioned is gonna be, I don't know, 400, 500,000, and maybe it's just like one bedroom apartment. And
Exactly.
I'm sure that in Winnipeg for 400 or 500, you can buy a big house.
You can buy, one of my friends bought a 2-story, quite new house. It's about 5 years old for $500,000,
Yeah.
right? So for $1 million, you can buy a mansion here.
No, for $1 million, you buy in Toronto the worst house in the city, and that's a reality. Like I can just later put a comment on Realtor.ca. That's a website. Everybody can just check it out, and it's crazy when you compare the prices and when you see what you can buy. Like for example, in Winnipeg with 1 million.
Yeah, and it's definitely, like, I'm very surprised to see, like, we were just for fun recently, we were looking at Victoria, right? Because it's warmer, and we're like, okay, it's a good place to retire, right? When we get
Yeah.
old. And looking at some houses, and it's incredible how expensive these houses are. And we are quite fortunate to have this low rates here, and also, like, a really good community. It's not, like, I would say Winnipeg is a big city with a small town feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the taxes rate for the the provincial taxes rate?
Um, I,
GST, HST.
I think GST is 5% compared to, I think Toronto is 16, right? HST.
It's 13 total in
I think
Toronto.
in total is 13 here. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's GST and PST. Oh, sorry. GST is 5 and PST is, I believe it's 13 or 12. Yeah.
Okay.
So a little bit of, like, numbers here. Our employment per year, it's around 400. Employment rate has gone up 1.5% since 2018. And And then also the software development GDP grew 27% in 2018. And I added it here because we have a software development program. So we see that more and more it attracts a lot of Canadians as well as the students from different countries. Because when students think about future, right, not just that 1 year in Canada, if you are planning to stay here, after these programs, the job opportunities are really, really good.
Yeah, I remember when I used to live in Saskatchewan, the salaries in Saskatchewan are really high comparing with, like, for example, Toronto, and it's because there are less competition.
Demand is high.
Yeah, and they have to pay more.
Yeah, so there's a lack of talent here. That's why they do encourage schools, institutions, and colleges to have that training, and also, encouraging the people like you, maybe from Brazil or Mexico or Colombia with the computer degree or business degree. And it's going to be very easy for you to come here, do a small, shorter college program, and then get into get your work permit and get the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program.
Yeah.
So I would highly encourage you to look at some of those websites too to see your opportunities. So you don't just have to take my word, right? To do some research on your own.
Indeed or LinkedIn, and they can just search for jobs. Just a question: did you apply for the Provincial Nominee Program of Manitoba? When you apply for the
yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm one of the stories.
Yeah, you are a life story.
Yeah, one of the life stories from the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program. So just about during COVID, what we do, this is a question coming from agents and students usually. MITT never canceled the intake. So we were running pretty much during the COVID the whole time. There was a lockdown happen in Manitoba in March, and it went all the way until June. And we had moved all our classes online. But since June, we have been opening up our classrooms, and we have been doing a blended delivery. That means the students will do some courses online, and on some days they will come to class. But they wouldn't, if the class has a capacity for 30 people, not all the 30 people will come. They will be break down to 8 different groups, right?
Okay.
So 10 people will come, or 5 to 10 people will come during morning, and the other group will come in the afternoon, and the other group. So really to make sure that we adhere into the public health order. And there are a very intense cleaning done by our cleaning staff, classrooms, labs. All the students are required to wear masks, including instructors or the shield, and they are required to sign in when they come. They are required to do the COVID screening test every morning before they come to school. So they have to say that, yes, I did. And you can assure that everyone had done that test. And if anyone had any symptoms, they were asked to stay home and let their instructor know. So a lot of precautions has been done. And we were one of the first institutions. I was actually part of that plan to work on a COVID readiness plan and submit to the government. And we got approved very, very quickly. Yeah. We have our immigration services advisor also checking with students on their quarantine and daily checking on how they're doing when they come here and in quarantine. And we are also quite happy of some of the, programs that government implemented by giving extensions for those students who had postgraduate work permit in the past 3 years, and they are stuck because they can't apply for immigration without a full-time job. And there was a lack of job opportunities during COVID, right? It affected everyone, not just international students, but also Canadians.
Yeah.
So because of that, government gave extensions to those students. So all the postgraduate work permits, they can apply to get extended and not have that risk. Oh my God, I invested so much money, now I have to go back. And my sister was in the same situation. She did program with the University of Manitoba, and her work permit is expiring soon, and she's still unable to get a full-time job. But this is a big relief. As Michelle mentioned, our vaccines are going to be, the first round is going to be done by May, and most likely the other ones will be done by October if everything goes well, and we will be able to fully open things by January, right? So those students who are not able to get jobs, they will have more and more opportunities opening up in the next few months and apply for their work immigration. So I'm talking a lot. I just have this snapshot to show, like, kind of your steps of immigration once you join us as a student. All the programs that post-secondary and postgraduate programs we are offering to international students are eligible for postgraduate work permit. And then you can look it up yourself, the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program, how you can be eligible by either getting a long-term job offer or having a 1-year job offer.
Okay, so pretty much that's what you did, right? You first graduate from a program, then you work a little bit. How long it takes you to get a job when you graduate?
So I got a job basically the same month I graduated. I was very diligent as a student, not just work, but I volunteered a lot on top of my studies. And in Manitoba, in the culture, one of the steps I had was that the volunteer rates are higher in Manitoba. And the employers, they look up to your resume. And if you have a lot of volunteer work, they really look up to that, right? So I had some Canadian part-time experience during my school. And then I also had a lot of volunteering in different places, like on and off campus. So that really helped me to get good references. Because when you volunteer, it's not just you can add it to your resume, but you can get a good reference from your volunteer supervisor. So if you have done a good job, when you're applying for a real job, you can add their name there, and they're more likely to give you a really good reference. So I have a few examples of our students actually in the next slide too. For example, Fernanda from Brazil, she had a part-time job with the company. They hired her immediately after her graduation, full-time basis. Khan is a student from Ukraine. He did both English language program and auto mechanics. And his practicum site where he was doing his practicum hired him full-time. Lisa had a good opportunity in Winnipeg after completing her programs, but her parents wanted her back in South Korea. And she is now working in the computer sector as in a video games company as a production manager. So Fernanda, I know that she is waiting for her permanent residency after getting her Manitoba provincial nominee. And Khan will probably going to apply soon because he's probably reaching his 6 months.
Okay.
So introduction to MITT, we are very connected to industry. So our motto is industry-driven, student-focused. We have strong ties with our students to make sure once they get in, start their program, we give them the enough support to be ready for those employments. And then we have built enough a really good ties with the industry to make sure that they are willing to take our students as interns or as employees. So quick facts, we are not a new college. We are 30 plus years old public post-secondary college. We have around 25 plus career focused programs, various campus buildings around the same area. In South Winnipeg, we are like 5 minutes drive to University of Manitoba. We have close to 4,000 students, and you know already about our English language program. And very proud to say that we did a inquiry to province in 2019. And out of all the students who apply for Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program, 95% of them got approved. So that's very huge news for us, right? Yeah. And then in 2019, we also ran an alumni survey, and it went to more than 1,500 alumni, and 90% of them said that they are employed in the field that they went to school for. So these are some of the associations we have with our IT areas. We are the first and only in Canada to become a Checkpoint Secure Academy. We are also a Cisco Networking Academy. For example, we deliver all the Cisco courses for University of Winnipeg network security students. We are a VMware Academy, EC Council accredited training center, Amazon Web Services. So what a great opportunity for those students who are applying for Winnipeg location after completing our program, our networking program. We're also Microsoft Education Partner. These are some of the highlights of Winnipeg IT companies. You probably remember I talk about Bold, Skip the Dishes, and Ubisoft. Yeah. All these companies have our students who got jobs or internships after the programs. Winnipeg has a lot of IT companies that they don't have big names, but they're small to medium, but they pay really good salaries. So a lot of our students have opportunities in the cybersecurity software. They don't necessarily, I was recently interviewing a student who have a job in Canada Life. That's a very large international company. It used to be called Great West Life. So he's a senior systems analyst, and he just graduated last year.
That's a clinical laboratory, right?
Oh no, Canada Life is an insurance company. It's insurance investment. It's the health insurance, a big portfolio. We have a great team of advisors, starting from student advisors, immigration service advisor, social worker. We have a very robust career development team who deliver presentations, workshops in your classes. We have some scholarships available and bursaries available for international students. They are midterm scholarships. So when you come to school and you do perform really well, you will be eligible to apply for those scholarships and bursaries. Then we have a great student life program. I did talk about the volunteering and the importance of volunteering as a student. So these are some of our student volunteers. We have a dedicated student life coordinator who deliver this volunteer program. So I'm having a lot of events this month, and Jorge, you are helping me with a lot of these too. And we have students. So it's usually really fun, the activities we have, and the students just come and help us with these online events. Yeah. So they get these hours, they get it added to their certificate, because at the end of their volunteer program, they get a nice certificate from MITT. And there's various student groups that students can be part of. There's 3-day orientation before you start the school to get to know your all the services and benefits available for you during the school. I'll talk about MITT programs. I did talk about the scholarships. We also recognize the top international student from each program at the convocation. So that's the other thing I had in that slide. So I don't want to go through all the names, because these are very easily found. But in terms of different program areas, we have human services, health and medical, skilled trades, and business and IT. And we have 1-year programs and 2-year programs. We also have very attractive postgraduate program selection, from business management to human resource to global supply chain to international business to applied leadership. And these postgraduate programs are really good for those students who have the education, especially in Latin America. And, the example of Fernanda from Brazil. And if you go to our website on the student stories, you will see Esmeralda from Colombia, who is now working at the World Trade Center in Winnipeg as a business advisor. So if you have business professional experience from your countries and education, you will be very successful in Canada. So for post-secondary programs, the requirement is the high school diploma, and you can talk to Jorge about what is equivalent in your country for that in Canada. And then the English language proficiency, there are many tests you can do, including IELTS, TOEFL, and during COVID until spring 2022, we are taking Duolingo.
Yeah.
And the postgraduate, you need the degree or 2-year diploma and the English language proficiency. So this is a kind of quick steps. As Jorge mentioned, it's all online. You just, create your account online, choose your program, get all your documents ready, upload them on PDF, pay the fees, and submit it all online. And once you apply, you will get an offer letter from about 8 weeks. We have a little bit of delay during COVID, unfortunately, but still, we make sure that we are getting this letter to you within 8 to 10 weeks. And then there's a deadline. With the offer letter, you'll get 2 weeks to pay a $5,000 tuition deposit. Basically, this is a portion of your tuition. It's not an additional fee.
Yeah.
It is non-refundable, but in any case you have your study permit rejected, it will be returned to you. And then you will get the LOA, which after we receive the $5,000, you will get the official letter of acceptance where you can apply to your study permit. And then you have to apply, once you get the LOA, you get to apply for your study permit and provide us with the approval letter 30 days before you start the program. And then you have to also submit your hard copies of your documents that you attach to your online by scan. We will require the hard copies. There are a little bit of flexibility during COVID. You can either bring it when you come here or you can submit it 30 days before the program starts. And then you can onboard with our orientations. I have 2 events. I will share the links with Jorge and he can promote, send to you guys. Our team hosts international cafes bi-weekly. So the next one will be March 24th. It's a presentation like that. And then we dedicate half an hour to answer your questions. So you will have a Q&A. We've been recently doing a fun game online, a Kahoot game where everyone can participate. And the winner who has the most score will get an MITT t-shirt. So I sent an MITT t-shirt in February to Dominican Republic. So it doesn't matter where you're in, Colombia, Brazil, Caribbean, we will still ship you that. So
yeah.
The other big event, the announcement just went today, and Jorge probably just received it too. We have an open house. This is our first international open house and the first virtual one too, on April 8th, where you can meet instructors, academic coordinators, advisors, all of them, not just recruitment, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So make sure to sign up for that. It is live now. You can sign up. I will add this to our chat after this presentation too.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is also share those links on the comments.
Sure.
Once that I edit this video, and so people can just make a click and register for this open house.
And follow us on social media. You can follow me, my work Instagram account, Michaela from MITT. And at MITT Canada is our official kind of our campus overall. All the updates are there, including open house. So feel free to do that. So that's basically my present.
Sorry, I think she made a mistake. She just click close everything. But I know she has to leave right now because she has other things to do. So what I want to let you know is that any question that you may have, just send a text message to us, either Facebook or just leave a comment on YouTube, and we will just contact you. Para las personas que tienen alguna duda, simplemente nosotros, de hecho, podemos revisar su perfil porque hay muchos programas que se ofrecen. Y de estos programas que se ofrecen, analizamos su perfil y en base a eso les recomendamos el que mejor se adapta a sus necesidades y al mismo tiempo los guiamos en todo el proceso de la aplicación. Para cualquier cosa, en estos días estaré cambiando la descripción del video para poner todos los links. Y bueno, déjenme ver si Mikala va a regresar. Sí, dice que va a regresar. Ok, estoy esperando que ella regrese. Que le voy a mandar el link para que pueda volvernos a accesar. Ya me está pidiendo el ingreso.
Hi, Jorge.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was going to unshare, but accident, like by mistake, I click leave, so it kicked me out.
No, don't worry. I was just saying that, like, I know you have other things to do, and like any comments or questions, just leave a text message, and we will go from there, I guess.
Yeah, but if anyone has any questions right now, or you have it, I can have a couple of minutes.
Let me check if in WhatsApp somebody just sent me something about this webinar. No, right now I don't have any questions, but I know we will do. And when we do, if I cannot answer it, I'm just gonna send you a text message and we go.
Yeah, and if anytime you need another event like this, I would love to come join you and meet your students. So I will leave now, and thank you again, everyone, and thank you, Jorge, for organizing this. So I would love to see some of you joining us to MITT soon. March 15th, we are opening our Winter 22 portal. So knock Jorge's doors, give him a shout on WhatsApp and connect with him. He will give you all the information about our programs. Yeah. He's very helpful. We have got a lot of good news from our students who Jorge helped. So definitely a great connection for you guys to use when you're coming to MITT.
Yeah, I would love to see you in the next education fair when everything opens again.
I know, exactly. You do miss the people we met in on the road. So thanks for having me, Jorge. I'm going to run now and connect with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for your time. Sebastián, si quieres respondemos vía inbox. No tienen un programa así tal cual que se llama Ingeniería Civil, pero sí existe algo similar. Entonces, ya tenemos tu contacto, ya nos escribiste. Te vamos a mandar un inbox después, ¿ok? Bueno, muchas gracias a todos los que vieron este video. Espero que les haya servido para los que tuvieran cualquier duda sobre MITT en Winnipeg. Y para los que se quedaron con alguna duda, no se olviden de mandarnos un inbox o creo que también dejé un número de WhatsApp y si no lo dejé, lo voy a dejar después. Bueno, no se olviden de, por favor, suscribirse en YouTube porque ahorita no tenemos muchos seguidores y ando mendigando las suscripciones. Vamos a tener más videos como este. Gracias. Hasta luego. Chao, Sebastián.